Hello and welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 2, where today, unfortunately, you're not getting a stream, but you are getting the final tutorial of the original 5 challenge modes, the ones that you really care about because these are the ones that unlock you the skins. So today, we'll be going over the Southwest USA map. Now this was, I'd say, the second hardest map. With the first one definitely being the Northwest USA. But anyway, let's have a look at the parameters, shall we? So, if we go to Jurassic difficulty, we have a starting cache of 3 million, which seems a bit low, but there are a lot of wild dinosaurs, which is good. Negative physical traits greatly reduce dinosaur lifespan. Now, they're not messing around with this. If you see a negative trait on your dinosaur, you should only be releasing that dinosaur if you need to have that trait, in a dinosaur in your park to research it to get rid of it. Because when they say greatly reduced, they can turn a dinosaur's lifespan from 100 plus units down to like 10. So it is pretty insane. I would not recommend releasing dinosaurs with negative traits. As you can also see, I did it in a fairly decent time, 14.5 hours. It's a long time. It's really easy to get under par for this. But anyway, terrain editing costs are extreme. Now, in terms of terrain manipulation, so raising and lowering the terrain, it's not too bad. I think it's pretty much normal. But putting down any sort of foliage, whether it be decorative or otherwise, it's very, very, very expensive. So just be really mindful when you're going through and putting down that foliage. The staff salary is indeed extremely high. Max of 6 power sources really isn't that bad. Just have this. That only includes power stations and generators. That does not include substations. So that is a really easy parameter to overcome. And no building upgrades is more just a inconvenience. They're not necessary to like excel. It just means things usually take longer. That's it really. So without further ado, I'm going to show you my park and I'm going to run you through the general process of being successful on this map. Okay, so I know I said I'd show you my park, but I thought I'd show you the basic starting setup first for this challenge mode map. So when you start out, this is all you have. You have a control center, you have a response facility so you can go dart some of the dinosaurs that are out in this valley. You've obviously got your entrance and you've got a backup generator. Now, if you know this map, you know it is very, very limited when it comes to space. There's all these awkward shapes and there's no real super large area for you to build in. So my recommendation is bring some dinosaurs over here, start generating some cash while you're over here, and then once you're done with that, move all your facility buildings into a smaller area. I usually put them over in this little corner here. It's very big, this area, so you could probably fit all your facilities in, plus a small enclosure if you really wanted to, but I never ended up doing that. Also, the dinosaurs that you do have on this map, I may as well show you. You have compies, which are, I'm pretty sure, around here. So I have no chance of finding them. But you got some compies around here, which work really well in the early game because there's like 12 of them. So they bring in quite a few guests. Here, I believe, we have some Gigantspinosauruses. Very nice. I think there's about 4 or 5 of those. Over here, we have some Notosauruses. I believe there's about 6 Notosauruses here. And then there's some Chasmosaurus. Here we go. They're quite close to your facility, so I'd recommend going for these guys first and then going for the Ankylosaurs because generally the Ankylosaurs and the Chasmosaurs work really well together. And then bring in your compies. And then if you have space, I would suggest moving in the Gigantspinosauruses. But that is the basic startup for this. Also, before I forget, before you start doing anything on this map, and I mean anything, you want to go into your scientists and you want to fire them, because as you can see, Yi over here, Harold Yi, is draining $120,000 from you. In total, they're draining $550,000 from you. So you need to get rid of these guys. These guys will just absolutely suck you dry when it comes to money. So what you want to do is you want to find your 3 cheapest scientists and you want to keep them. So in this case, we have Arthur here, we have Amanda, and then we also have Lauren Greer. So you want to keep those 3. Obviously, it's going to be different. You're going to get luckier with different people. In general, you want to keep your 3 cheapest scientists. And throughout the whole game, all of these guys are going to be very, very expensive. So you really have to watch your space when it comes to this. One last thing I may as well show you is how much the terrain editing really is. If I just get some basic ground leaf here and I spread it around, you see that the cost racks up really quick. And in this very small area, I've already spent $1 million on just foliage. And it goes the same for just the basic decorative stuff. The ornamental shrubs are also very, very expensive. Not as expensive as the other ones, apparently, but still very expensive. Even just clearing this is very, very pricey, as you can see. And I've already lost all my money just from that little bit of foliage. So this map is about being really careful. And if I'm being honest, you don't have to plan out too much. Because like I said, if you move your facilities into a small little nook and then you put your main entrance area in a large space, in my park I did it here. You could also put it over here. But yeah, I just recommend moving it from there because it is a very small area. And maybe later down the line, I'd put a guest area over here with some enclosures. I believe I did that in my other park. But now I will show you my park so you can get a general idea of how it's all laid out. Alright, so here we are in my park, and we'll head over to the entrance first so you can get an understanding of what I've done. As you can see, I've had a pretty basic setup. I've kept the response facility and the paleo-medical facility quite close, just so they could access all these dinosaurs here. Here we have some Nodosaurus and a single Chasmosaurus. Here we had some Corythosaurus and Kentrosaurus and Amargasaurus. There are no large sauropods on this map. The only sauropod you do get is the Amargasaurus, so keep that in mind when you're building your parks. Here, this is where I put the compies when I moved over here, but then I later replaced them with some Deinonychus. Here we have some Carnotaurus. We've got a cinema right here. If you come around, like I said, this is where my guest facilities were. I just had a lot of hatcheries because it kind of gets to the point where all your animals begin to die. So you just want to have backups pretty much. So as soon as they die, you can put them out there. But that's not a real tip that you need to follow if you don't want to, because it is a bit of extra work and it does consume a bit of time. But yeah, that's all my facilities. You know, I have some large power stations, a few small ones, and that was able to power my entire park. Now, here we have a baryonyx with a little Jurassic tour here just to bring in some more adventure guests. And then we also have a little guest area set up here with a couple of Allosaurus in here and some Muttaburrasaurus and I believe Polacanthus. Yeah, just one Polacanthus though. Again with another tour. Coming over here, as you can see, there was enough space for a lagoon where we have some Liopleurodon and some Ichthyosaurus. The Liopleurodon, although it says they like the small marine reptiles, they did eventually end up eating them anyway, which is a bit unfortunate for the smaller ones, but oh well. So yeah, we have a big lagoon here, and that was pretty much it for this area because as you can see, there is not a lot of space to build. But if we come back around here, we've got yet another guest area with an attraction. Was there an attraction? There was no attraction over here, okay. And in here we have some Majungasaurus or Mayungasaurus or Majungasaurus. I really don't know. There's so many different ways to pronounce it apparently. Here we have a couple of Carcharodontosaurus. Just be mindful that Carcharodontosaurus is not happy unless it has a friend. So that's cute. But anyway, over here we have some Stegosaurus. And then finally, this was all on a tour, by the way. And then finally over here, I didn't even have a dinosaur over here, but this is what put me over to 5 stars, was the fact that I had all these attractions here, and I was going to put another Allosaurus in this one, and that would have put me over. So in reality, this isn't too hard of a map. Sure, there's a lot of expensive stuff. Things are expensive, and it can be a bit slow without the building upgrades. And it can also be a bit slow if you get a whole batch of dinosaurs with negative traits. And you got to get rid of them, otherwise you'll be replacing them soon. But in reality, this isn't too hard. You get sandstorms, but they never really do a lot of damage. They can give your dinosaurs surface wounds, silicosis, I believe, and then coccidiomycosis. But they're all easy to treat with the paleomedical facility. I'd also encourage you to try all the Jurassic difficulty maps now that they've taken out dominance battles causing injuries. That's going to make all of these maps a lot more easier. I had done this before that update had come out, and you know, if you were smart about it, you never really had that problem. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!